Hey there, are you ready for the sermon from the Montana? Just kidding. Hey, we have to bring some levity into some of these situations that we're currently facing, correct? Laughter shifts your frequency up very quickly. It's a great thing to inject into your daily lives when things reach that pivotal point of just ultimate stress or overwhelm. Laugh, laugh, laugh. This is Jeannie with Blaha. Take a walk with your angels and joyflames.com with your monthly messages from the quantum for what month are we in? May 2020. Let's do a little remembering of April. So how did that go for you as far as building the momentum towards a lot of these avenues that you might have been facing unexpectedly in a very positive way if you let go to that, maybe in a very negative way if you gave all your energy. So what do we have going on then as far as that momentum that built up when we came into May? For many people, according to those in the collective, in the collective consciousness, quantum guides and angels said that people took this nosedive. It felt like everything that all of those dreams, those inspired ideas, some of even the advanced movement towards those ideas fell out. And things got locked up again, things got stopped up. Answers were not forthcoming. Solutions all of a sudden went on hold. Delays, more delays. And so people started getting really frustrated in the beginning of May, saying, what is going on here? Why are we still in lockdown in our lives, right? Okay, so this May could get a little funky, a little outrageous at times, a little buffed up on some heightened textures of humanity. So what are they saying? They're saying, watch where you put your speak. Where are you giving your words? Where are you giving your thoughts? Where are you taking your actions? Because everything that we're doing as a collective right now is key and crucial to what we're creating, where we're taking all of this into the future. If we hone in on all of the things that are happening and just stay focused on what we're realizing is a lot of illusion that's playing out, and we stay with all of our energy in that and get hooked in to the sense of frustration. What can we do about it? There's no hope, there's no option. We're kind of forced and backed into a corner. We aren't allowed certain things that we have been in the past. The rules and regs are changing without actual laws getting changed, and etc. What does that do for humans in general? We are free will spirits. We buck up against that. We're not going to be happy horses riding around in that. So be very, very observant of where you're taking your energy and what you're watching. If something hooks you in and starts to get you really raging, go quickly into another leap further of what can I do about this? What is the solution for this? Where can I go and take my voice to this? What do I need to do to prevent something from escalating to the point where my community is suddenly escalating to, what, we're taking up arms, or we're going to riot about this, we're going to protest, it's so key right now how we're going to handle this frustration and this rage. Are we going to get into a big duel about it? Are we going to fight? Or are we going to stand up and say, you know what, peacefully, as a collective across the world, we reject this idea that we have to accept whatever is being presented to us, that we have to tolerate situations. In fact, before March ever arrived into the US and other places across the world where the crackdown, the lockdown, everybody forced into a corner in a box happened, you were already seeing signs of people contesting the rules and the regs, and you have to do it this way and you have to do it, and you notice things getting tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. So what's happened then in this year of 2020 is it's just at that maximum place, the ultimate spot of it, where all of a sudden, what is it telling us as humanity? It's saying, guess what? You're at this grand opening of your consciousness towards your free selves. The fact that you are empowered beings, that you do get to create a world that you do want, that guess what? Sometimes things have to get squeezed so tightly before you'll finally say, enough is enough. We are not going to do this. This is ridiculous. Now, if you're saying, Jeannie, what are the angels talking about? For example, what are we doing with our immune systems throughout this? Because there is already stuff coming back and through the pipelines from medical professionals, from scientists that are saying, just recently, for example, in New York, 60% of the new cases of this deal, I don't even like to give the words to it, because you know what? Because anywhere where you give energy, you're going to be creating more. I don't want to create in that direction. So let's just call it the element of the state of humanity that we are all facing right now, okay? So they came out in New York and they said, guess what, 60% of the new cases, those were actually all people who had stayed at home. What does that mean? We have to think about this. We have to really focus on what does that mean if people are getting sick in their own homes? Really direly sick, horribly sick, where they feel that they're going to die. Well, when I was a child, I was told by my father, when you feel sick or you're not feeling really good, you got a scratchy throat, you kind of get a sniffly nose, why not go outside? Go outside, hang out in nature. Guess what? You might be able to prevent this from escalating or divert something from getting more settled into you, because homes are contained spaces. And if we are injecting our surfaces with all kinds of different solutions that are made up of a lot of chemicals and other things, are we telling our immune systems that they deserve to be strong, they can be strong? Are we telling them, hold on, fear, 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 and the immune system just goes, eh? So with that messaging that he gave us, we did go outside. We played outside. Guess what? In an hour, we felt better. Well, what some of the saddest things when people ask me, what have you faced personally? One of the saddest things for me is hearing that my own father won't leave his home. A guy who recommended that we get outside in nature and play outdoors, take in the light, take in the oxygen, breathe different air. And we did feel better. He has been feeling worse and worse, getting less strength, becoming more feeble, feeling like his muscles are giving way, that he's not as strong as he used to be. So this is all indicators of what are we going to believe? What are we going to take in? What are we going to ingest into our beings and have our bodies believe even? So first off, along the health lines, please, please take care of yourselves. And yes, okay, we recognize this thing. It's coming through our populace. It's definitely making an impact. What are we going to do personally that can then connect to everyone else as well in our health? What are we going to do? Are we going to stay in our homes and incubate ourselves into a system where our immune systems break down because they don't have an opportunity to be subjected to anything else outside of that space that's so contained and sterile that there's nothing that you can't run into any kind of bacteria or viruses, and your system is no longer strong and powerful because we've crippled it by staying in a very contained space? We don't do anything in life by constraining ourselves. We do it by expanding. That is where our growth becomes. That's where evolution becomes. That's where all of the, when you say I'm feeling really blocked, the idea isn't to go and get really constrained and shackle yourself. It's got to be expansion time. That's how we release the shackles. So with the health piece, do get outside, do go where you can go to breathe different air, to bring in all of those things that are coming out. It's not that we're being attacked when you go outside. It's that things are coming your way, that you learn your body, your being, your spirit, your soul, everything takes on this ability that it already has innately, instinctively, to repel what doesn't feel good. It is in us. It's in all of us. Now, you might have been raised up with some unworthiness, undeservedness, and you think, well, maybe I'll get sick and die, and maybe I deserve that, and maybe I deserve that, and I don't deserve to feel good, I don't deserve to have my health. And guess what? Quantum leap time. Because everyone has that birthright to land here, be in your health, be in your joy, be in your peace, be in your bed. Those are birthrights. They're not something that you have to go and attain or achieve or do something for in order to deserve them. They're you. So by going outside, going outdoors, moving the body, having this body, this vehicle is so precious in its brilliance and its ability to recover from things, to regenerate itself. Did you know most organs in the body are constantly renewing? It's not that they just age all the time till you're dead. They actually are renewing. So we have to take ourselves into places where, okay, so you walk out on the land and you run into some wood ticks. We are being inundated with wood ticks right now in Montana. Are we going, oh my God, we could get sick and there could be Lyme's disease? If you fuel any kind of vehicle like that, guess what? How many times has that happened to you where you said, I'm so sick and tired of this, and the next day you woke up really sick and tired? Or you said, I cannot take this any longer. I'm gonna bust open. I feel like I'm gonna break something, and then all of a sudden the next week you broke a bone, or you broke something in your home, and suddenly 3 things aren't functioning in your home anymore, and you went, wait a minute, I did say that I was gonna break something. So watch the Speak in May. It's very key to what we are creating as a collective. We have to take responsibility. We have to take ownership of where we're putting our focus. Are we going to just get bent out of shape and not do anything about anything? You don't have to have a voice out there in social media or another forum to keep speaking of what you know inside yourself, in your truth of your truth, your big truths. You don't have to get out there and scream and yell about them or even sing about them if you don't want to. You can be very quiet and still hold the space and generate that energy continuously every day, thinking, I'm just going to keep focusing peace on what's happening. Or when this community over here is erupting because they're not taking it anymore, then I'm going to just radiate peace to them. I'm going to exude strength, and that they get to be reminded of their own power, that our power is never away from us. We get less connected to it, but we are never disconnected from it. So where is our power source? Where are we coming from? Are we going to go from the place of these slower frequencies? Rage is a slower frequency. Anger is a slower frequency. The frustration, the irritation, the combustibility, those are all slower frequency states. Are we going to choose those, or are we going to say, you know what? Let's do some really constructive things here. How can we help the world right now? How can we help people realize they are free? Guess what? We start talking about growing our own food. We start talking about being able to bring anything that you thought all the control was out there and you feel very out of control. You bring that back to yourself and you start taking ownership of what you're bringing into your mouth and your mind, and how much are you giving of your mind over to these voices and these conditions and these patterns. Do you know that some of these fear things that are being inundated towards us, those are thousands of years old. They're not even of this generation at all. So while we're hearing and going, wait a minute, in your gut saying, there's something off about this, don't make sense of what is nonsensical. Don't force yourself to believe in something if it feels awful in your gut. And you're going, something is so off about this. Nothing of this is logical. It's not rational. So don't make sense of it. Don't torque it into something. Another thing I'm hearing from the quantum on children right now. Okay, imagine yourself as a child right now, and many of you have children. Their minds trying to wrap around these ideas. Think about it as a child, because the children's voices here on the planet are no different than what I hear from the angels and guides in quantum. They're powerful beings without all of the patterns injected upon them yet, perhaps, or the belief systems that are just heavy and thick and have not a lot of heart necessarily. It's just this bladder of stuff that is like fed out of a newsreel that they're hearing, right? So the children, listen to them when they say things like, you know what I don't get? How could I hurt somebody and kill somebody if I don't have the intention to do that? Like, I'm not going out to do that. How am I going to end up doing that to somebody? Actually, the angels and the guides are saying the same exact things. Those beloveds who have passed are saying you cannot hurt or kill another person without the intention of doing it. The intention comes first. So some of this fact stuff that we're being fed, it works as far as facts that have been created as from some kind of opinions or ulterior motives, but you got to watch what's presented as fact. Even take it into your own notions. If the kids are saying, hey, guess what, this doesn't make sense, like I have to not be around my friends because I could end up hurting them, or I can't hug my grandmother because I might make her die. Like, when kids are asking these questions, listen and go, hey, wait, they might have some sort of sense here that we're, as adults, we're just taking in the information. Well, that must be true. That must be true. Oh, well, it came from these 5 different sources. Consider what doesn't sit right in your gut still. Consider what's going on. Why do I feel, if that's the pure truth, why do I feel so chaotic inside? Why do I feel like I want to scream, that I want to yell? Like, what? Everybody stop. Let's wake up here and start looking at things for what feels right, true, good. The stuff that doesn't feel good in your body, where your body starts to shake, starts to feel nauseous, starts to feel headachy, starts to get tension, the nerves, you're thinking, maybe I'm getting arthritis. Maybe I have all these cramps going on. Maybe, this is what I heard today actually, on the 10th of May, is that a lot of people are having digestive things going on. Tons of people, they're all like, well, I must be eating the wrong thing, or I must have. No, our bodies are rejecting this gas that's being fed to us as real. And so what is May going to look like? It's going to be, you'll see things of these volatility pieces and things just combusting out of people. Literally, our bodies are just like ejecting it and saying, what? Don't fall for the illusion. So what can you do about this? What are some of the little things that you can do as far as how do you take yourself back into a state of peace and calm through all this? When you know your neighbors they may never have a job in the field that they were in. They've got to switch gears entirely. Maybe you yourself are facing something where you're like, I can't even go back to the same job. And if I do, is my salary going to drop because my company can't support what the economy was prior to this? Yes, all of this is going on. Absolutely. We can't say, well, that reality isn't happening. It certainly is. What are we going to do about it? Are we going to sit in that state of all of that money, that career, that position, that pattern, that normalcy that we thought was normal before is where we have to get back to? Or are we going to say, wait a minute, something else is happening here. We are rising up. If you get a chance, listen to the song Uprising by Muse. They were ahead of their time with that song. There are many musicians and artists who are actually creating out of their own premonitions and their intuitions and their gut instincts about the future. That song, I don't even know what year it was made, but it was quite a while ago, is speaking to this era that we're in right now, this uprising that we're all going to be facing. What are we going to do about this? Are we going to remain silent? Just say, oh yes, sure, that's fine. We can take away all these rights and have people in every profession seeing that there's a lot of illusion. You can talk to law enforcement. You can talk to medical professionals. You can talk to people who are on the front lines that are saying there's so much illusion that is being fed. And people are saying, oh, I guess that's the way it is. But guess what? They're in the experience watching it and saying, I'm not going to accept this. I am going to see my families. Nobody's going to keep me away from my family. What kind of thing is that says I have to accept that I'm going to be away from my family for an extended period of time? Guess what? Do you know, according to those in the quantum, the fastest way to fell a collective is to separate and divide them, make them hate each other, make them fear each other. Fear is even stronger than hate. So if we're all fearing of each other, that we're all going to somehow hurt each other and end up killing each other through some illness, we need to turn that boat around, redirect the rudder, and get back to our knowing and wisdom that separated we fall, divided we fall, united, coming together as one collective, not giving that energy to, oh, the world is full of all this division and separation and people are hating each other. If we don't give our energy to that and we refuse to go there, and you start pivoting that boat back to say, I'm not going to fight you. I'm just going to send you peace right now. And guess what? We've done it in person with people, and it shifts the gears. You can talk people off that cliff of them thinking they have to hurt you because they're in such a state of panic and desperation. And if you enter it with them, yeah, you're going to feel like fighting back, right? If you don't enter it, you come back, you return to your soul, to yourself, and how could you possibly hurt if you're connecting to that person as a soul, right? So this chaos piece, pay attention to it. Also, acknowledge when you wake up in the morning, you're like, God, I feel awful today, and I went to bed feeling really good, and I was feeling really hopeful, and what happened overnight? You tuned in through your astral traveling, through your dream states. You were tuning into other people in the world that are in this place. There are billions of people in a state of desperation and feeling like, where am I going to go from here? How do I get into my next position? Can I go? Well, guess what? Lots of entrepreneurial activities are happening. A lot of people are redesigning who they were. They're reinventing themselves completely by opening up these doors and even allowing the doors to be opened onto them, where they are just in a state of show me. Show me. That's another thing that I was hearing really strongly from the angels and guides and those loved ones in the quantum is ask, show me the way. Show me which direction to take. I have no idea, especially if you've never gone in that direction before today. So yes, be very vigilant about recognizing all of your emotions are not your own. All of your feelings are probably not your own. You're probably panning into a lot of different states and frequencies across the world of people who are feeling very at their wits' end. So you might feel crazy. You might feel in a panic state of I don't even want to stay here anymore. What's the use of this Earth planet? Like, why am I here? I'm a loving person. I like to be of an intention of really helping. And how can I help if we're all locked away from each other? Well, guess what? Those wraps are going to be coming off and you will have more say. You will have more voice. Start looking to where your speak is meant to go in a way that does shift frequencies back up again, where it can elevate people back unto themselves. Guess what? Our natural state of being is bliss, actually. We got talked out of it. We got trained out of it. We got led to believe that life is hard, that there's all this struggle and strife and people hating each other. Guess what? As kids, we didn't hate people. Not until we were shown something. Oh, well, you're going to act like this towards that person because they are doing this to you, and etc. Kids don't hate. They don't hate, not until they're shown to. Okay, so I wanted to do something really special with this one, in that because of the level of this intensity that people are experiencing, this sense of even depression, which, by the way, we're talking about depression today. Depression is actually, when you think of the word depressed, what is getting depressed in you? Until you let your creative power relief come forth and you allow yourself to really be all that you came to be as a being, as a star, as a light force energy on the planet and elsewhere, until you allow that, we are depressing ourselves. So anytime that you start feeling like, well, I have depression, I have anxiety, I have this, I have that, or I am this, when you put anything behind the I am, watch out, because it really creates. Consider the fact that, you know what, more layers are trying to come off of you. You're trying to ditch more of stuff that's not you. Never was, never had to be. You didn't decide at some point, guess what, I'm going to suffer while everybody else has fun. You took it on at some point, and casting it off is what we all need to do. And that's how we can make a very unusual situation become contagious in a different way, where we decide, we take back our power, we take back the reins, we determine, we decide how our communities get to live, how they get to hang out together, how they get to be united and committed and dedicated, and the loyalty piece that's going to come back into play. You're going to see humanity loyal to itself in ways that you can never imagine possible. You're going to see these pieces drop away of people who had hated certain people that were different than them, basically than before. But here's another interesting note on that segue. Those in the quantum say regularly, anybody who holds any notion of hatred towards another person for being different in any way, religion, tone of skin, you name it. It could be lifestyle, it could be whatever. They've already lived that before, and they were somehow a victim in a situation, and they're so resentful of it. They never let go of the resentment about it, the anger, the rage, that they came into this form, and now they're tossing it back at whatever they had been that they resented so much. So anytime that you're faced with that, remember, a soul that has holding that much hatred is because they've lived it and they never released it. So, and this goes for, you can talk Ku Klux Klan, you can talk whatever. Guess what? A Ku Klux Klan member has been in a concurrent lifetime an African person or an African American person, and they experienced dire hardship. It could be they were hung, that their heads were chopped off, that they had excruciating lifetimes of pain and suffering. They got into this lifetime and they want to pay back. And they want to do it in a way that's, because they didn't release all of that, it's coming back up, it's bubbling back up, it's rising back up. What's the worst thing we can do is hate on those people. You can't, that doesn't go anywhere, because then guess what? They're gonna have more lifetimes of that hatred. It'll just take a different form, that's all. So with that, what I wanna do is, I wanna do a quantum leap right now, right here. So whether you do your imagination with your eyes closed, your eyes open, whatever is easiest for you, whatever is most effective for you, where you can really see and feel the things that you most desire, do that right now. Close your eyes or keep them open, however you want to do it. Take one huge deep breath. Hold it as long as you can as you're leaping from your current reality to this desired reality, dumping off, dropping off any areas right now in your life that you feel that are shackling you, holding you down, keeping you enclosed in any way out of freedom, in any sense where you cannot move forward, any kind of block, any kind of outer kind of control over you that you have no say about, no choice, no other option, any place where you feel like you have nowhere to turn, you dump it all off right now. You land in your desired reality. You've dumped it off into the quantum. The quantum is of light. Anything that you dump off transmutes back to light, which only amps up this planet and any other. So you cannot hurt any planet, including our own, by dumping all that lack and limitation and resistance off. Dump it off, keep dumping. There's more people that need to dump off more. You're saying, what's the use? Dump off the what's the use. No matter what I do, I can't get this to release itself. It's still a block. oh my God, what am I going to do with my family? I can't even face my family. I have no solutions. I have no, dump all that off. You're dumping off all that lack speak. You are an empowered being. You're completely empowered. Nothing holds you back. Nothing. There's not a person on the planet. There's not a force. There's not a government. There's not a politician. Nothing can hold you back. You land in your desired reality. You feel the things that you most desire right now, whether it's your career opens up, there's a position that comes forth if your career is no longer available to you. There are other alternative streams of income that are coming to you. Look at those streams, see if they're appearing in any shape or form, if there's anything around them, if there are faces around them. Record that information, let it integrate into your being. This is your desired reality. There is no lack, there's no limitation, there is no resistance in the quantum. So in this desired reality, everything goes, anything goes. Everything is possible. Not just anything, but everything is possible. Look, see what is out there, what is trying to bring itself to you in this divine universe. There's nothing that it is saying, I'm going to hold this back for you. I don't want you to have this. You don't deserve this. You're not worthy of it. You haven't done enough. You haven't produced enough. You're not enough. That's the reverse of that. It's absolute opposite. The universe is saying, here, receive this. Please open yourselves to receive. Let this in. Let this be. Know that you are a divine being and that you deserve all this greatness. You deserve your grandness. You deserve all of this light that you are. Let it be. Where is it trying to come to you right now in the quantum? As you're looking at desired reality, you look around, see, are these your children's faces saying, yes, yes, please let go to this now. Quit pressuring yourself to have all these answers in this very unanswered world right now. And all of these unknowns where the controls are out of our hands, so-called. The universe says, you're always designing, you are always creating, you're co-creating this entire world right now as one collective. You couldn't live like that anymore. There were trillions of people that could not live like that anymore. So this is a reality that you've created to unshackle yourselves, to take yourselves out of those areas where you thought you had to go, that you had to live because generations before you had done it that way and that must be the only way, or they would have done it differently. No, this is unshackling. This is freedom time. Let go. Let go of anything. This is your desired reality. Your children are there to say and remind you of your wisdom of that there's no such thing as this is the only option there is. Otherwise, we won't make it. That you can hurt somebody or kill somebody unintentionally by carrying something in your body against them. It's impossible. Listen to the quantum, listen to the guides and the angels and your loved ones in spirit who tell you that's impossible. You can't hurt anybody unintentionally with death or etc. All right? Look around, make sure you're looking at all the things that are in your desired reality that you're saying, oh, there's a possibility. There's a possibility. Look, my connections are better already with my family because I'm not landing in so much fear. I'm not staying in fear. I'm letting go of the fear. Let go. Can dump off all the fear, all of it. Just say, I'm dumping off the fear. I'm not going to carry it anymore for any agenda, for any alternative motives that are out there, for any kind of enslavement or control or manipulation. Dump it all off. The quantum, this desired reality, you're free. Okay, with this, all this freedom in the sense of that you get to live your life as you desire, as you create it. You are fully empowered. Jump all that back into your now, right into your current reality. Bring that back with you. It's very essential to bring that back into your now. Feel it, see it, sense it. Let the frequency state of that be with you, knowing that it's your birthright. And nobody can take that away from you. Much love. This is Jeannie Blaha with Take a Walk with Your Angels and joyflames.com. Please, if you have any questions or you need something one-on-one to shift something out that you feel like these are great, but I need like really specific stuff. Guess what? I have been with many clients of all different kinds of everything you can imagine under the sun, and there's nothing that I haven't heard or covered. So please, no matter what you're facing, ever have any shame or thinking that something's going to come down the pike that's too hard to hear, or that it's yucky or gross because it was your guides and angels or somebody in the spirit world that is trying to tell you something dark or negative. That's not ever going to happen. They don't take any time or energy for that. There's no time in that quantum anyway, but they're not going to expend anything for that. All they're here to do is assist and support you in your empowerment, in your fullness, and who you get to be, who you get are fully already with all that stuff coming off of you, which is the time that we're in. We're releasing everything that is not us. So it can get pretty ugly sometimes because we're looking at layers of it going, yuck, I was carrying that around for how long? How many lifetimes? So if you need something one-on-one, look me up. I will love to work with you. I do very personal quantum leaping angel readings, and I'm at takewalkwithyourangels.com. Otherwise, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It can be very helpful if you're just need a little zap, a little pick me up, a little uplift, a little something, something that says I'm going to be okay. All right? Love you lots and take care. Peace. Hey there, I have a little surprise for everyone because I wanted to share. This is a very momentous thing that I thought also equates to what's going on in the world, and I can share a little analogy there. So come meet. Come on. Here we go. Yeah, Sashi. So this is Sashi, and she is our latest rescue, and she came to us at 12. Yes. Yes, you did. She's a Siberian Husky. Yes. And she actually experienced the most abuse that we have seen so far. Her body is full of a lot of scars from humans and dogs. So we're in the middle of a lot of adjustments, right? Yes. And nobly and remarkably and astoundingly, we're stunned that she is completely in trust of us. How that can be after she was treated the way she was by some humans, we don't know. Yes, you're so trusting. Yes, you are. And so right now we're in a lot of processing around the fear of dogs attacking her. So we have to keep them separated right now. We're on day 15 right now. In order to keep her from, in her defensiveness, she tends to growl at our first two rescues. But they'll get it figured out, won't they? Yeah, because they haven't grown back at all. They're just trying to give her a lot of guidance. They sit and gaze at her. I'm sure they're telepathically informing her that she's safe and she's going to be okay. However, we've been taking our time, haven't we? Yes, we've been taking our time and letting her speak for herself. She actually came with the name Sasha, but she told me she really likes Sashi. So it's interesting because Sasha means protector of and defender of men. And Sashi, you know what Sashi means? It means moon. And we feel she's a full moon rising because her amazing adjustment to everything has been incredible, just incredible. And one of the things that I wanted to bring up with the current state of things is that she's really reflective of, many of us went through really intense childhoods and had a lot of patterns that we had to uncreate as adults. She's lived them for the last 12 years. So she has 12 years now to uncreate of abuse and neglect. So she's a really good example of, if you face your fear, you can really walk through anything. And you can land yourself in a completely different reality that is much more of what you desired in the first place. And more love, right? So a lot of fear right now. Consider Sashi and think about how she's taking her fear by every paw in her to release it, to get to a place where she can turn herself towards more love because it feels good. So if you're feeling that, where it's like you're inundated by a lot of fear and overwhelm, just keep remembering Sashi and how she does it in stages where she's like, okay, I'm okay, but I gotta go and restore and revive myself again. Do that. Restore and revive yourselves. Take yourself away and out of the overwhelm and areas where you feel very afraid. Put yourself back into places as peace, wherever that is, if it's out in nature or some other place. Take yourself to that place of peace. Restore, revive, so that you can walk through more fear. This is Jeannie Blaha with Take a Walk with Your Angels and JoyFlames.com. If any part of this video really reaches to you and you're thinking of somebody's popping in your mind, you're saying, oh my gosh, this would totally help my mother or my brother or my uncle or my grandfather, please do share it. I would love to be able to see this love getting spread. All right, take care. Peace.